Who are you and what do you do?
I'm Andy.
And I'm Arun.
And we're from Gameplan, which is a sports-based league management startup.
Okay.
Based in Singapore. It's just the two of us. We make organising sport really easy for people who run leagues and teams. Currently it's spreadsheets and bits of paper and pain and hassle, and we provide a software website that makes it easier.
So
It's what Basecamp did to project management, we'd like to do to sports league management.
Cool. So where did the idea come from?
Me, 3 years ago in the UK, 4 years ago, I built a website for a league that I was running, and I built it really horribly, and it was PHP on top of a horrible database, and it's been bugging me ever since.
Okay.
I came to Singapore, met Arun, who worked at Wigo, and it's come from there. So 9 weeks ago we started. And,
Wow, 9 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
and yesterday we demoed, and lots of nice people came and said nice things.
Really? Did anybody give you any negative feedback?
No.
Cool.
There's one person from a government agency who was kind of trying to give us a hard time, but I
think we won him round.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Okay. So why are you guys against like taking funding from external sources?
I think if you don't need it, why chase it? I did a lot of client work last year working with various startups in Singapore, Matchmove Games, I did some work for NTUC, and I managed to build a bit of a war chest. So whilst we can, we don't think this is a business that needs particular funding in order to grow at this stage. We'd never say never, but why bother taking money or chasing money when it's taking your mind away from the product, right?
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of, I mean, it's not true all the time, but it comes with a lot of negative pressure, like in terms of they can, VCs and stuff can negatively influence the direction of your product or, your lifestyle or your company culture and stuff, which we'd like to avoid as far as possible, because we think we have a pretty good company culture right now.
Okay, do you want to talk a little bit about pair programming, how you guys do it, and whether it's productive, does it work for you guys, and what's your advice for other people who want to do pair programming?
Okay, we're going to sound like crazy, weird evangelist people, but it's absolutely brilliant. What it's done for us, is it really focuses us on what we need to do. In the same way that deadlines are really good, pair programming is really good in terms of it's forced us to constantly ask each other the question, why are we doing this? Should we be doing this? And it helps keep the product focused the first time you build it. Obviously there's stuff we're going to go back on and stuff we already have gone back on in terms of design decisions, but it's been really powerful in terms of us getting it pretty much right the first time. And also it means that the pair programming comes along with testing everything and driving everything through test and code, which means that we're a bit more confident in our code base as well, and we get less horrible surprises when we first fire up in a web browser.
Yeah, and I think a testament to that was in the last 1 week before Echelon, we were trying to cram as much stuff as possible for our demo, and we weren't pairing, and we ran into problems with, just because we didn't have another pair of eyes looking at the same problem, we missed out on edge cases and test cases that we didn't think of, and then we'd be surprised when we try and test it out later and you're like, oh, why doesn't this work? But
it keeps you. It's fun as well. Like it means you're both invested in the decisions that you make. It means that you can't do one thing and you don't get stuck. Like you don't do that thing where you spend 4 hours going, why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? You end up, the second pair of eyes. Even having somebody look at your code can make you go, oh yeah, that's where the problem is. Like even without them saying anything, like the number of times that I'll go, why isn't this working? Everyone will come over and look at the screen, and I'll go, oh, it's there. Like which I wouldn't have seen otherwise.
Oh, okay.
And it's just a lot of the focus thing, right? Like because we don't work crazy hours and stuff. It's like a 9 to 6. It's almost like working in a corporate thing, but it's just so much more productive because we don't waste time on Twitter and Facebook and stuff during our work hours, and we just completely focused on making good shit.
Good shit. Cool.
Making the good shit.
Cool. So what do you think of some of the startups at Echelon?
I think the quality is better than last year. There's a couple
Better than last year, okay.
I think so.
I wasn't here last year, but definitely better than...
Oh wait.
But I think, there's a couple that are really impressed, which was In Sync we thought was great from yesterday in the demo bit.
It's amazing stuff.
Amazing technical product. Really sharp guys, really beautiful website. Who else? Creately are really great.
Yeah.
Those guys, despite it's majorly a Flash product and obviously therefore restricts its stuff on iPhone and iPad. And potentially in the future, and I'm not a massive fan of Flash as a designer. But yeah, their product's really ace, and they write a lot of useful stuff on their company blog as well.
We just met My Ad Engine, which seems completely useful because I don't understand AdWords at all, and that's something definitely that we use in the future.
Yeah, anything that helps with marketing is good because that's where we know where our weak point is, and it's in the selling of. What we do.
So what's the road ahead for Game Plan?
We don't like to plan too far ahead. Next month is adding some features to the product that we need before we can go live. And we probably do a beta for open usage in early July.
Accepting payments.
Accepting payments is a big thing.
That is early August.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we need to speak to the banks, the helpful Singaporean bank.
How do you guys find Echelon? Like, did it benefit you guys in any ways?
It's good to get some eyes on our product, real humans who know what they're doing, and see if what we were doing people could understand it and understand the benefit. We missed most of yesterday, which was a bit of a shame. We saw the keynote, but not much of the other sessions. I think I would say it's more interesting to have one person's point of view than the panels. The panels can be very dependent on if there's one dominant personality who's not very charismatic or doesn't have a lot to say, that can be a bit difficult.
Okay.
I prefer a keynote with a strong message and more questions and answers time. That doesn't seem to be built into the schedule.
The panels seem a little safe for that reason. Like there aren't enough hard questions being asked. Echelon was that we meet a lot of people that we can draw inspiration from, like the guys like InSync and stuff. The stuff that they're doing is completely amazing. So there's like people say stuff like there aren't enough developers in Singapore and Asia and stuff.
It's not true.
Yeah, it's complete bullshit.
But InSync is a Filipino startup.
Yeah, in Asia.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
He's here.
Okay. Cool, great stuff. Thank you guys. We'll demo for VR. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Arun.
Pleasure.